Areelu.
Greetings.
Ah, it gets even more awesome. A stately shadow comes toward you. In its hands, a small mirror sparkles and shimmers with an unsettling light.
Greetings, Commander.
The dredged core suture grins as he shifts clumsily from foot to foot in a crude attempt at courtly bow. Fancy seeing you here. I have a lot of questions for you.
You are looking for answers. That's good. That is why I am here. I have much to tell you.
And I have so many questions. A hint of a smile dances across Areelu's lips.
You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers.
Nice comparison.
At least, some of them.
Areelu lifts a mirror, and you fall into its cold, shimmering depths. What is she showing me? What kind of mirror is it? Ah, it's the very beginning of our adventure.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation.
We are an
Subject.
experiment.
Let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of a Nahindrian crystal in the soul of the subject.
We got a
Expected
crystal.
result. The essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers.
That's what gives us the powers, the mythic
Time
powers.
has come to put my plan into action.
What's the plan? Oh, that's so cool. But why? What is her
You are
aim
my
with that?
creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
And oh my, that means she's so powerful if she can just bestow a gift like that. So we're just... all the bursts of mythic energy was just the Nahindrian crystal we got. Fascinating. Are we just an experiment? Is it just like to try something out? Areelu stares at you, her gaze unrelenting, probing. The witch is silent for a long minute. When she speaks, her voice is unreadable, betraying no emotion. Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Tell me.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady Areelu worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
The wretch grins with satisfaction. The unseen angel does not speak, but a silence seems to thunder in your ears. Yeah, I guess the end of the Inheritor isn't too happy about that.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkineth, Jeribeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nahindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands. But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Kenabres with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
But why do we have the wound? I can't expect the wound to be caused by the crystal. But I mean, she's right, we had the wound before. But she also transported us with suture to Kenabres. So I think we still have the wound cause of her. But I don't think she will answer that. As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops. I always thought it was certain effects which caused the wound to bleed more.
This is pure essence of Nahindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength, and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Kenabres.
With an elegant flick of her wrist, Areelu conjures a familiar purple shimmer in the air before her.
Hey, are we doomed too? The chief shared his power with us, so does that mean we're cursed as well? How long do we have left? Say it ain't so, I'm too young to die so tragically.
I am not even rich enough to die. I wonder how the power sharing works, especially if we got the crystal and that's giving us the powers. Why can't we share it? Or is it just like an aura which kind of distributes some of the powers? Ulbrig doesn't say a word, but you notice his pale face, his clenched teeth, and the extended claws on his fingers. I mean, I have still so many questions, so I'm gonna try everything to ask as many of them as I can. That's not going to work. You need to tell me everything first.
Very well then. Ask your questions and I will answer.
Oh. And we can ask lots of questions. Areelu winces slightly, but quickly regains her composure. What exactly is this wound in my soul? How dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I
It was
failed
so.
to... The tale is too long to recount here.
No.
Your wound is a reflection of the world wound in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the world wound is healed.
So it connected to the world wound? I mean, wouldn't Areelu be like completely against closing the world wound? Because it's her creation, her first big experiment?
No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the world wound is healed, you will have no peace.
Or was she expecting us to heal the world wound actually? I want more answers, and I want especially to know what her failed experiment was causing the wound in our chest. Why are we connected to the world wound? You followed me.
Of course. I even kept notes. I began my observations long before our meeting in Kenabres. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny.
The experiment. But why? And why us?
I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful.
Areelu's eyes drop to your braces, the ones inscribed with your name. Which braces? You can't remember where you got the braces with your name and the inscription, "I promise," on them. Seems like you've always had them. I just know they have a really nice bonus. That was enough to keep them around.
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Kenabres.
Yeah, she cast a featherfall. We saw that.
In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone. And in Dresden, I appeared under the guise of Yoniel to guide you toward the Sword of Valor.
But why? Just to see this experiment through? Is she just like a... I don't know how mad she is, but is she like a mad scientist? So quite the powerful one.
And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
You know, as it turns out, you helped me thwart the plans of your masters, Baphomet and Deskari.
They are not my masters, they are a resource.
To call demon lords a resource. Either she's completely mad, or she's just very, very powerful, and from what we saw so far, and seeing that she can just give people mythic powers, I think the first one. Nah, or maybe a bit of both. Why was the whole ploy with the lab necessary? You were ready to sacrifice your servant, the Suture, for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands. And that is why I was willing to risk his life.
Summarized, I trust him, that's why I risk his life. But interesting that she actually trusts him, because she seems like someone who wouldn't trust, like, almost anyone. You know, it would be better if you just told me everything instead of playing mind games.
Knowledge gained independently through research and experimentation is far more valuable than knowledge that is simply given.
Ever the scientist.
That is why I wanted you to go to the laboratory yourself. I just gave you a nudge in the right direction.
Or is she testing us? Or is she looking like, how do we... I mean, Ever the scientist, maybe she's doing still a study. Maybe it's looking at, like, how does someone work with those mythic powers? What does someone use it for, or... I don't know. Tell me about the Nihindrian crystals. Start from the beginning.
Nihindrian crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords. Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss. And there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nihindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles.
Which makes her incredibly powerful.
Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Deskari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Kenabres. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nihindrian crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
Oh. So, you figured out how to use the crystals to imbue living creatures with power?
Not just any creatures, demons, and half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the Abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the Abyss was not strong enough within them.
Yeah, we saw their corpses in a lab. The first thing is a very good thing, but I'm not a demon, and I think it's working because of the wound we share. Because the wound we have, which also the Worldwound has. But I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe.
She sounds at the same time so evil and disregarding of every morals and everything, but also so cool.
I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the abyss.
She
And
transformed
I changed
herself.
you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Deskari's attack on Kenabres? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive.
Fascinating.
All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the abyss.
Oh boy.
The creation of the architect of the world wound, whom they so revile.
Yeah, an abyssal experiment. What a nice backstory. I mean, it really is a nice backstory. It's strange to see you here in Nocticular's palace. Who do you really serve? Deskari, Baphomet, Nocticular?
Both. And neither. I have served both Deskari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
Areelu's tone is indifferent as she informs you of this, as if she were simply commenting on the weather, rather than her obedience before demon lords. But I know my power's different from that of Jaribeth, Nukenev, and all the other demons. Why?
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Deskari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form, cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords.
So we are basically version 2.0.
Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water, but it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your
that's why it
power can
changed.
change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen. You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
I take all the knowledge I can. What I want to know is this. What do you want from me?
Patience. Before we continue, I want you to receive your power.
Areelu nods at the glowing essence. And I mean, even if it is abyssal power, we can use it for good, and we used it for good so far. We changed so much in Illusionera, so Logan doesn't really have any repercussions. Not really caring about the source of the power, and goes and touches the essence. I will not refuse this power, but I will decide how to use it. Let's see what Ulbrig and the Hand of the Inheritor think about that, though. I wonder we would just miss out on a level if we didn't do that. You touch the essence, and the power, so familiar and clear, flows through you like a river. The power that courses through you is so immense that the wound on your chest closes up as if it had never existed.
Now you know. You truly know.
Enough! Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
Hey, we did so much good together, Hand of the Inheritor. The voice of the Hand of the Inheritor thunders beside you. Areelu does not move, seemingly unaware of his presence.
All your valiant deeds, your resistance in the face of temptation, it was all a deception? Curse the Abyss, and curse Elushanira, where even the most faithful lose their way, and lie, and commit treason. I must save those who can be saved, and break free from the kingdom of darkness.
Is he going to abandon us? The angel's voice fades, and you can no longer sense his presence. He has disappeared. Aww.
I want to help you close the world wound.
Oh. Really looks at you for a while. Then she speaks. Why does she want to close the world wound? It's her creation.